The ability to actively include power, and not just braking, in your cornering technique is one of the numerous secrets behind a fast lap time. And the worst thing about this is that it's almost impossible to detect just by sight alone. You would never know it's happening unless you are shown the data. This is me in a Porsche Cup car at Silverstone, going around Luffield, a very long corner in second gear. Ask yourself, in a powerful car like the Porsche Cup, which has no traction control, how should you apply the power as you exit this corner? Perhaps it would be something like this, with a smooth pedal press which builds the power up nice and softly so that the rear wheels can maintain solid traction. That would be wrong, at least if you wanted to go as fast as possible. Watch my throttle input as I make the transition from braking to power on. Notice how it jumps from 0% to around 50% pretty quickly and holds there for some time until I pick my moment to fully power out. Instead of a smooth, gradual power on to ensure traction, I choose a stepped power on, which seems to happen in two halves, the initial step and then later blending into full power. Why? Well, it's because I actually want the rear end of the car to be ever so slightly loose, so that it can corner as hard as possible by using the magic of slip angle, and I'm doing it with the throttle. See how the back of the car is ever so slightly hung out to the side? My front wheels cross the line here and my rear wheels cross that same line here. The car is in a very narrow slide whilst powering through the middle of the turn and accelerating out. This right here is slip angle at work, known as yaw angle to be exact, but slip angle makes it easier to relate to and say, and it works because it allows the rear of the car to move more freely, causing less resistance to the car trying to turn as a whole. Here's an example of that principle that you can literally do right now. Stand up and try twisting your foot to point your toes in another direction. A lot of you will have instinctively lifted either your heel or your toes in order to do this, and do you know why? Because it's easier to rotate your foot when you're not fighting against 2 points of contact with the ground. If you try to twist your foot without lifting any part of it off the ground, it's still doable, but it is harder because now you have 2 points of contact on the ground that are resisting the twist. And that's why you sometimes want a little bit of free float at the rear of the car. You can't lift your car's back end up to reduce the friction resisting the turn like you just did with your foot. Instead, you can create power on slip to allow the rear to slip and move and make it easier for the whole car to pivot around a turn. Not loads, just a bit.